Welcome to Tassie Rules, Tasmania's footy show. Great to have your company with us once again. My name is Rick Fontaine. We have got plenty to get through because there is a lot of footy happening around Tasmania on this very special week. Of course, Anzac Day matches happening tomorrow and, of course, on the weekend as well. Our club's in focus with thanks to Harrison Agents. A lot of stuff coming through there. A very special guest, former Brisbane Lions, recently retired Brisbane Lions player Daniel Rich is going to be joining us. He's in the state this weekend playing footy. With thanks to Cleanaway, our women's segment, we'll have a look at the SFL. We'll also have a look at the matches coming up and the MVP in the NTFA, and a very special guest, someone who's very excited, a historic moment for the St Pat's Football Club in the women's competition last weekend as well. We'll have a look in the SFL men's as well, the NTFA and other matches coming up around Tasmania. And remember, you can always stay involved with this show because it's your show. We want to hear all of your events and anything you want to promote. Please get in touch with us. Send us a message. We'd love to hear from you, as we do every week with the multitude of photos coming in with thanks to Little Rivers Brewing Company and the Crafty Cuts range. We do thank them. They're up there in Scottsdale, a magnificent brew they've got as well. We have got photos to show you and a winner to announce for this week's Photo of the Week, where they will take a prize pack from the Crafty Cuts range. And let's have a look. Firstly, this one, this is Joe Doreen. He is being cheered off after his 200th game for the Signet Football Club. What a great picture. The sun just setting a little bit, beautiful colour there in the background. And we thank Dave Harding for sending that photo in, a fantastic shot as well. A couple more to show you. And this one from Stacey Williams from the Bracknell Football Club. Look at this one. These two, I'll tell you, there is not many bigger rivalries in football in Tasmania than Bracknell and Longford. The elimination final last year, I was out there for this game at the Longford Football Ground where this game was played, and they had over 2,000 people there that day, and they wouldn't have been far away from that on the weekend either. It was a brilliant day. So a great photo there sent in from Stacey. And have a look at this one, our winning pick for the week. How good is that? Thank you to the Longford Football Club for posting this one. The cars around the ground, the people, the spectators at either end, a great atmosphere. It is an historic ground. It's a great club, and it was a terrific game between Longford and Bracknell. So our winning photo there, and scoring a Crafty Cuts pack for sending that one in. So a big thank you to Little Rivers Brewing Company and to our winner. So when you're out at the footy this weekend, you know what to do. Send us a message, send us your photo, and who knows, we may be popping it up on the show next week. All right, time for a break. Big show gets underway next.
Durable, reliable, heavy duty. Get the power you need from the people who know machinery. For sales, parts, servicing and expert advice, call DLM Machinery today or visit dlmmachinery.com.au.
And with thanks to Cleanaway, it is now time for our women's segment here on Tassie Rules, Tasmania's footy show. Well, this is a fantastic story. Our next guest, she is the captain of the St Pat's Women's Football Club. Now, they played their very first game of competitive football last weekend, and it was a momentous day. Not only did they play their first game, they actually won, defeating the Longford Football Club. And our guest, well, she started playing in football back in 2017, and I dare say that this is probably one of her greatest days. We'll ask her. Please, big welcome, Naomi Hassel. Welcome. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
Oh, and how special was this day for you?
It was pretty special. Yeah, there was. It was really exciting as a new club to go out on our first game and take home the win. So it was really good.
For you, let's go back. We'll talk about the game shortly. But for you, how did you get involved in football? What attracted you to take up the game?
I had a friend who was playing TSL at the time, and she told me to come along and join in their practice match. And I couldn't kick a footy, and I couldn't mark a footy. Had no clue what I was doing, and so I joined a footy team. So
Well, and you joined the footy team, and there's the result from the weekend: 5-8-38 to Longford 2-5-17. And I guess the next question is, what drew you to St Pat's?
So I have a few connections at St Pat's. My partner is a life member and the current senior coach, and both our teenage boys play there. So when they started up a team, I felt I still had something to offer to a new team. So put my hand up.
Brilliant.
I think I was the first person.
Well, it's a great story. We're going to get to it very shortly, but I think we need to show everyone who hasn't seen this on the St Pat's Facebook page. We're going to play it for you now on the show. This is the reaction after the game and the singing of the club song. Well, Naomi, a very, very special day of that up at Scottsdale. It was part of the a huge day of footy up there, 6 games. Begs the question, how did everyone go with the songs? It's the first time you've sung it. How did that go?
Well, we had, in anticipation of winning, we had posted it in our Facebook group, but we also did take some printouts. So we were able to sing it when we won. Yeah.
Brilliant. The influence of your coach, Roger Menzies. I met Roger a few months ago when the provisional licence was awarded to the club, and the number of players that were already committed to playing. I mean, how special has he been and how important has he been? We could see this was actually from the announcement, not formally of the club coming in, but the provisional licence, were a few boxes still to tick. But tell us about his influence.
Roger's great. He is really enthusiastic about women's footy. He's really encouraging. He takes women's footy seriously, which I think is really, really important. But he's also a really calming influence on the girls and on the team.
Now, I believe that some of the players that played, this was the first game of football, correct me if I'm wrong, that some of them have actually ever played.
Yes. Yeah, I think we had 3 or 4 girls who had never played football before, or senior football as well. We've had some juniors move up who hadn't played senior footy.
Remarkable. So talk us through the pre-season and the build-up to this, because obviously you knew for some time that you did have a licence to be playing in the competition. And we've heard arguments coming from, there's too many teams and we've got teams come, teams go. But you guys, the St Pat's Football Club is in such a big and fast and growing area. How was pre-season? Obviously, as you said, people have assembled and come together to form a brand new team. But what was that like? Was that camaraderie there right from the start?
Definitely. It has been. To start with, especially pre-season, a lot of girls have other sporting commitments. So it was difficult at the start to get people to training. But it did build momentum. And I think we have about 33 or 34 on our list now, which is really healthy numbers. And it just goes to show that there are girls out there who do want to play footy, but the area that the footy was being played in wasn't suitable for them.
A new women's team, the first women's team, obviously, for the St Pat's Football Club. How have you been received as a club?
Yeah, really well, really well. A lot of the girls in our club do have connections with other clubs, so yeah, I think we're thought of quite well, especially after our win. But the club has been amazing as well. They've been really accommodating, really welcoming. We've been made to feel like we're a really important part of the club.
And your partner does a pretty good job too, doesn't he?
He does.
Head honcho of the men. And of course, Ian McCallum's got a great team there at the club as well.
Yeah, he's very excited that we're up and about.
I get that. Hey, well done to you, because I know you led from the front on the weekend as well. You had a great game personally, but a momentous occasion, a historic occasion for the club, and great to have you on the show. Thanks very much, Naomi.
Thanks very much for having me, Rick.
Great. That is Naomi Hassel joining us from the St Pat's Football Club. Right, we're going to move now into the NTFA still, but we're going to have a look at the MVP for the NTFA Division 1 women, first of all. So the first game we'll go to is the Simpats victory over Longford, and we can see that Lily Robinson picked up 5 votes for the Sainters. And Naomi, they're coming up with the 3 votes, and Longford's Libya McGrath and Shay Nichols each polling a couple. Now in the Hillwood-Evandale game, Hillwood had a big win there. Georgia Rowley and Charlie Giddens sharing best on ground with 3 votes each. And in a replay of last year's grand final, same result, Deloraine defeating Meander, and Georgie Bauman from the Kangaroos was best on ground and collected the 6 votes in that game. All right, moving on to the NTFAW Premier Division now. And Launceston, a terrific win for them. 14-point victory over South Launceston at Scottsdale. Jasmine Lanza and her teammate Shania Templar got 3 votes apiece. Skipper Alice Robinson got the 6 and a best on ground performance for last year's grand finalist Bridgenorth in their win over Old Scotch. And Old Launcestonians, the reigning premiers, well, they had a big win over Scottsdale at Scottsdale. Sophie Rankin, best on ground, polling 6 votes in that match. So that is the Bogues MVP. Moving on to the SFL women's competition. Now they got 2 divisions. We'll have a look at the Division 2 ladder as it stands after round number 3. And we can see that Claremont, New Norfolk and University, they are the 3 undefeated teams, the only 3 undefeated teams in the competition. Huonville and the South East Suns are still looking for their first wins of the season in Division 2. And we now turn our attention to the Division 1 ladder. And this is after round number 4. And Kingborough on top, 3 wins from 3, a percentage of 308. Clarence second with 2 wins from their opening 3 matches, and Glenorchy looking for their first win of the season. So let's have a look at what's coming up this week in the SFL women's competition. You can see the bottom of your screen, Division 2, that actually kicks off tomorrow. We have got an Anzac Day clash happening at Pembroke Park. That is at 4:25 p.m. The South East Suns are taking on Brighton. So Brighton with 1 win for the season, an opportunity here potentially for the Suns in that game to break their duck. On Saturday, 9:30 at the beautiful Queenborough Oval in Sandy Bay, Hutchins taking on Lindisfarne. And also Saturday, 10 o'clock at Abbotsfield Park, Claremont taking on Port, and Huonville are at home to Dodgers Ferry, St Virgil's, University and New Norfolk with the bye. Division 1, we can see it's round 5. Both matches on Saturday at 10 a.m. North Hobart taking on Lauderdale, 3rd versus 4th. That's at the magnificent North Hobart Oval, and Glenorchy taking on Kingborough at KG5 Clarence with the bye. So that is what we've got coming up in the SFL women's. I was down at North Hobart Oval during the course of last week, actually, the most stunning ground. And there's a shot looking out on a beautiful day towards the Brooker Highway, but one of my favourite grounds in Tasmania, North Hobart Oval, and plenty of action coming up there this weekend. All right, that is our women's football with thanks to Cleanaway. Time for a break.
Durable, reliable, heavy duty. Get the power you need from the people who know machinery. For sales, parts, servicing and expert advice. Call DLM Machinery today or visit dlmmachinery.com.au.
And great to have your company on Tassie Rules, Tasmania's footy show. And with thanks to Harrison Agents, time for our clubs in focus this week, because we have got a lot happening in local footy right around Tasmania, which we'll get to very shortly. But firstly, it's a great pleasure to welcome a special guest. He's going to be lining up for Bridport this weekend in the NTFA Division 1. They're taking on Evandale. Now, he joined the Brisbane Lions back in 2008 after being picked up at number 7 in the draft. 275 games, 116 goals in his career. He's been an All-Australian, and last year also won the Fox Footy longest kick. Boy, if it's blowing a southerly on Saturday at Bridport, there's a fair chance he could be kicking the goal into the middle of the town. So let's have a chat to him. It's a great pleasure to welcome a man who's had an outstanding football career, and we look forward to seeing him. Welcome, Daniel Rich. G'day, Daniel.
G'day, mate. How you doing?
Doing very well, thank you. Thanks for your time. Great to be have you with us on the show. And just saying off camera, we had a bit of rain here last night, and winter is just starting to set in. So as you pack your bags, mate, bring something warm.
Oh, mate, it's the opposite here in Queensland, so thanks for the heads up. But no, I'm looking forward to getting down to Tassie. It's always nice to visit.
Obviously, Brisbane were no strangers to playing in Launceston, of course, against the Hawks. So I know you love your golf as well, so that would have been a pretty happy place. Did you get much of an opportunity to head up the northeast to Barnbougle and Lost Farm?
I never actually played golf. I'm an avid golfer, and I've heard so much about it. So I'm looking forward to having a look for sure. Obviously, been to Tassie a fair bit with Fags and the connection there. We did a few pre-season camps, and I played the Hawks a lot down there over my time. North Melbourne once as well. So, great place to visit.
Indeed. Well, you're playing for the right footy club this weekend because you're literally less than 10 minutes away, and we've got the details for our viewers on the screen. It's going to be a terrific day. Bridport coming up this Saturday. The reserves are getting underway at 11:30. There's going to be a kids clinic at 1 p.m. at Bridport, and then the senior game at 2:30 p.m. at the Bridport football ground. Daniel, for you, I guess last year, an outstanding year for your team that you played 275 games for, getting oh so close in that grand final. But how tough was it for you? Obviously, you had a season with injury and you played your last sort of game, I guess, with the Lions to mid to late in the season. Was it sort of that bittersweet a little bit?
Oh, it was. I would have loved to have been out there, no doubt. But at the same time, I suppose it's one of those things that you don't kind of hang your hat on one season or one kind of portion of your career. I was lucky I played for a long time, and I was so proud of our footy club. I've kind of been through the highs and the lows, and to see the footy club kind of where they were at the end of last season, I felt like a small part of that, to be honest. And I was there in whatever way I could be. I was at training. I was fully invested. Obviously, got to a point in time where I knew there was a fair chance I wasn't going to be out there. So you kind of have two ways to look at it. You can be down in the dumps, or you can be there and support them in any way you can. And that was the path I took. I love the footy club, and shame we couldn't get it done on grand final day.
And I mean, you left it out there every game. That was the thing. Watching you week in, week out, you were probably fair to say one of the heart and soul of that club to a degree because of the longevity of your career with Brisbane Lions being around 15 years. So I mean, it's been part of your AFL career. But what about your affiliation with the club moving forward? You must still be very excited at the pathway they're going.
Oh, absolutely. It's I'm obviously fresh out of the footy club, so it's one of those things where you have so many close friends there, guys that you've played with. Not only just the players, I've obviously played with all those guys, but it's the staff, it's the footy club, it's the behind the scenes people that no one even really gives too much recognition for. It's those people that you love and you miss. But I'm excited for a new chapter at the same time.
Well, a new chapter for you. You're coming down to Tasmania, as you said, no stranger, but you're actually going to be playing a game of footy for not the Brisbane Lions, but the Bridport Football Club. And we've got a few details we're going to pop up on the screen. But this is a great weekend. It's got obviously a few of the old Brisbane boys coming down here, and Mark Blackberry, who's done so much organising. But lining up for them, we've got a night with the Stars on Saturday night. You can see the details on the screen. The great thing here, for anyone up in the northeast or anywhere that wants to come along and watch Daniel play and hear from some of the greats, Simon Black, Craig Lambert, Adrian Fletcher, Brent Staker, come along. It's free entry. That is amazing from Bridport. But how much are you looking forward to coming down and having a kick? Have you heard much about the team? And I guess, as the coach, Andrew Philpott, will put a call out to him, given any indication where you might line up, Daniel, on Saturday.
Not quite. I don't know exactly where I'll be playing yet, but I'm genuinely excited. I've played a few games back here in Queensland at Noosa, so I've just enjoyed it. It's funny how it all works. I played footy from such a young age, and it's almost like you go 360, where you go back to more of a local club, a club where it all begins for a lot of people, and you really see that passion about what AFL is all about. So I'm excited to get down there, play with the boys. Obviously, it's a cracking weekend. I know all the guys coming down from Queensland are pretty excited for the weekend festivities. So Mark Blackberry, he's a special man. He's obviously, this footy club holds a lot of good memories and a lot of special meaning to him and his family. So I'm excited to get down there and play for mighty Bridport.
No, he's an absolute ripper. And you're playing for a club that only last year came back into the NTFA after a year in recess. So I know that club have done an incredible job. It's a beautiful township, and it's going to be a ripper day, and no doubt plenty of people there. Now, there's also going to be on Sunday, there's an All-Stars game. I think the faces we popped up there before are all going to be part of this as well. So you're going to be having a kick 2 days in a row, Daniel?
I am. That's the plan. I might be hobbling around on Sunday. Don't get me wrong, but no, there's plenty of old boys running around out there, so I might just fit into that nicely after a game on Saturday. But there's been plenty of banter. We've got a bit of a group chat going with the guys playing in that, so there's been a bit of banter between the likes of obviously guys you mentioned, Simon Black, Craig Lambert. Blackers is throwing a bit around, Brent Staker, so no, it'll be good fun.
Well, we had Blackie on the show last week, and seriously, I did a luncheon with him late last year at the AFL Grand Final down here in Tassie, and he seriously looks in good enough nick to still be running around.
Oh no, he's in better nick than me, and I've only finished 6 months ago, so no, it's all good fun.
And just finally, post-career for you, Daniel, you mentioned you're playing some footy in Noosa. A lot of people go down the media path. What does post-AFL playing every week look for you?
Yeah, so I'm currently a business development manager at the Johns Lyng Group, who are nationwide, basically in the insurance, construction and maintenance side of things. So it's been great. I've loved it. I've always been a big one for doing things while I played, and it's great. There's actually a big footy field in JLG. There's Sticks Kernahan, leads up a department, Johnny Barker, Brock McLean. There's a big Blues kind of contingent. So it's good. It's a great place to be, and I'm loving it.
Geez, I tell you, if there was an industry-wide national football competition, the company would have a fair side, wouldn't they?
We do joke about that a bit, but either that or it's the retirement village for a few of our AFL players. So one or the other.
Look, fantastic. Well, look, I know everyone's looking forward to you coming down to Bridport on the weekend. As I said, takes up Saturday and Sunday, but thoroughly enjoyed watching you in your AFL career. I love watching a player that just gives his heart and soul every week, and that's something you did throughout your 275 games. And I've been a Hawks man since the age of 7, but having Fagan up there, obviously as a Tasmanian, I just love what he's done, but what you and the team are doing, and I think they're starting to get into season 2024 pretty well as well. But great to have your company. We look forward to seeing you on the weekend, Daniel. Great to have you on.
No worries. Can't wait. Thank you.
That is Daniel Rich, Brisbane Lions legend, and he'll be down here this weekend. You can jump on the Bridport Football Club Facebook page as well for all of the details. All right, we're going to continue now because it is our Clubs in Focus. We're going to look at football around Tasmania. We're going to head down south firstly, and that is to the SFL, the Southern Football League. So let's have a look at the ladder as it currently stands after round number 3. And as you can see, we've got Lindisfarne and the reigning premiers Cygnet. They're 3 from 3. And Brighton and Sorrel, they both started the season very well as well. 2 wins from 3. And Norfolk, Hobart and Claremont are looking for their first win of the season. So let's have a look at what's coming up this weekend. It is round number 4 and it all kicks off tomorrow afternoon at Pembroke Park. Anzac Day. It's going to be a fabulous day down there. It is Sorrel taking on Brighton. 2 wins each for these 2 clubs, as we mentioned, 3rd and 4th on the ladder. If you can't get to the game, don't worry. It is going to be streamed tomorrow, so you can get all the details on the SFL Facebook page as well. And then we can see the matches coming up on Saturday. All 2 o'clock starts at Boyer down in New Norfolk. New Norfolk will be taking on Hobart. Both sides looking for their first win of the season. Huonville are at home to Dodgers Ferry, so 5th versus 6th in that game. And the final game down at Abbotsfield Park, a massive challenge for Claremont. They are coming up against the reigning premiers in Cygnet. That's 2 o'clock. And then bye this week is for Lindisfarne. So that is what's coming up in the SFL this weekend. All right, let's have a look at the NTFA, the Premier Division firstly, the MVP. So the men now are 3 rounds down. So we thought it's a good opportunity to show you who is picking up the votes at the moment. And we can see last year's grand finalist, Hillwood, leading the way. Isaac Thompson is on 13 votes. From South Launceston, Ruckman, Cody Lowe, he's on 12. And Bridgenorth, Jake Hines, who's made the move from the TSL to the Parrots, is 3rd on 8. And then we've got Luke Richards Premiership captain, of course, with Rachel Lee last season on 7. Luke Murphy-Cohen, the full forward for Longford, on 7. And Hamish Leadham, Heward's ruckman, also on 7. So that's the MVP leaderboard as it currently stands. All right, now let's go to the Division 1 for men, the leaderboard in the Bogues MVP. And we've got Jacob Bonney from OLs on 13. Johnny McKenzie from Old Scotch on 12, and Lilydale's Jack Hadley is on 11. So they are our top 3. And while we're on the NTFA, let's have a look at the leading goal kickers as they currently stand as well. And in our Premier Division senior men, Luke Murphy-Cohen bagged 7 last week. He is the leader by 4 on 14. And then we've got Tubb of Georgetown and Tommy Bennett from Hillwood on 10. They clashed this weekend as well. So they're our leading goal kickers in the Premier Division. And Division 1, our leading goal kickers so far, there we can see we've got, well, Warren at Perth kicked 6, but Colgrave from Old Scotch is leading the way on 12. From 11 goals is Lanham, and then from Old Scotch, Matthews on 9. So they're our leading goal kickers at this very early stage of season 2024. Coming up, Oatlands District Football Association, that's getting underway this weekend as well. And this is coming up very soon also. This is going to be outstanding. 3 incredible speakers. It's the game plan, and it's all about leadership, teamwork and growth in adversity. And look at the lineup. Rodney Eade, former Hawthorn great, of course, 4-time VFL Premiership player. Current CEO of the Tasmania Jack Jumpers, Christine Finnegan. And we've also got Brett Ratton, who is the head of coaching, performance and development. Details are on your screen. Friday, the 7th of June at Pepper's Hotel in Launceston. You can click on the link or find it details on our Facebook page as well. Big game coming up down at Blue Gum Park. These two are massive rivals. And I remember from my umpiring days, you would get 2,000 people at this game. And I reckon they'll be doing that as well, as we're going to honour 2 late legends in Gary Crane and Rod Green. It's their memorial game, 2:30 at Blue Gum Park. Both some of the most respected and revered members of their football clubs. And they'll be playing for a brand new shield. This is the first year of it. So that's going to be a great day as well, and should be a cracking game of football. TSL Match of the Day coming up this weekend for broadcast. City Park Radio, North Launceston taking on Clarence. Live broadcast with Dave Moore and Mitch Hills. Both teams undefeated, and that gets underway 1 o'clock on Saturday at UTS Stadium. North Hobart are taking on Lauderdale tomorrow. The Anzac Day clash at 2:30 p.m. down at North Hobart Oval, and Glenorchy at KG5 taking on the Tigers. In the NWFA, look at this cracking slide. The Rosebery Toorak Football Club, they've got a big home game coming up against Turners Beach to kick off round 4. In other matches, Forth are at home to Sheffield. Sprayton are taking on Motton Preston at Maidstone Park, and East Ulverston at Hayward's Reserve are taking on Wesley Vale. Couple of events coming up. Now, these should be a beauty. I'm going to be sitting down with the one and only Sam Newman on the 25th of May. It's one appearance only coming up at the absolutely superb Devonport Country Club. You can head to their Facebook page or website, which is devonportcountryclub.com.au. It is the 25th of May, 7 o'clock a night with Sam Newman. What a night that will be. And also, coming up very soon, a night with Jack Steele and Max King at the Latrobe Football Club. Now, this will be after the Hawthorn and St Kilda match at UTAS Stadium that same day. So you can head to their page as well. Just $60 per person to get along to that. So it should be an absolute beauty. All right, so as you can see, plenty happening right around Tasmania, some great events coming up. All right, that is it for this week on Tassie Rules Tasmania's Footy Show. Don't forget, get your photos into us and let us know what's happening at your club. Any events coming up, please, we want to know about it. We'll put it here on the show. This is your show for local football in Tasmania. Thanks very much for your company. Enjoy your Anzac Day and all the footy coming up. We'll catch you next week.